morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you all. Hope you're doing well. Had a beautiful weekend and continuing to enjoy the school holidays here at Denman HQ. Another couple of weeks of the kids being at home, and we've enjoyed some day trips out to the beach. And we'll be going again tomorrow, taking my auntie who's visiting over from Macedonia to the beach, and just having a lot of fun, being at home for a change for a little while. So this morning I thought, why not talk about an important aspect of our most precious commodity that we have in our life and our businesses, and that is our time. And the fact that this world is getting busier, and we're having a lot more to do or read. Information's hitting us left, right, and center, and some of us, can really feel stretched at times. As hey, good morning, Jane. Great to see you on the call, and happy New Year. So I thought I'd cover off a topic that I used to struggle with a lot in the early days of my business, but I still continue to refine and get better at, and also something I used to get my clients, my coaching clients in the very early days to do, to see really where their time went. And I'm going to talk about some aspects of how I organize my time, and what are the things that work really well for us, and how do we win time back in our days, so we have got that balance achieved. All right, so before I do that, I am going to quickly do my little shares here into a couple of groups that this also goes live, and then we'll get going with this particular topic. So I'll just share it across, and this little share area has changed of late. Here we go, in a group. Okay. Hope you guys, wherever you are having, I just pasted in a huge thing that I had from the other day. No, that wasn't meant to happen. Okay, share across, and another group. And I really look forward to meeting a lot of you guys who are coming into some of our half-day events that will be starting on the 4th of February with Perth. Perth is up first for the year, starting from the other end of the country and working our way back to towards Melbourne. All right, so time auditing. We can go around our lives whinging and complaining about not having enough time and being, run down and all that sort of stuff. But have we really stopped to actually have a look at where our time goes? And most of you would know this, but the majority, the three biggest time wasting, I guess, where people waste a lot of their precious time is obviously on their devices, either watching TV on Netflix. Netflix and Stan seem to suck up a lot of people's time nowadays rather than standard TV. Social media. People get stuck in the vortex that is social media, and can be in there for many hours. And sometimes sleep could be oversleeping, even though some of you might think, oh my god, I don't get enough sleep. But some people can sleep a lot, and therefore a lot of their time can be sucked up by that. So my challenge to you guys, if you haven't of late, because we don't do this all the time, but we should do it from time to time and just see where really our time goes, is to perform a 2-week time audit. To actually just sit down twice a day, maybe once during your morning tea and once afternoon tea, and just jot down what you did for every half an hour of the day. So what is it that you did, and how did you spend that time? And it starts to bring around a lot of consciousness and awareness around the things that we do unconsciously. Because we have time to do everything we want to do. It's a matter of how do we allocate what's most valued by us, and that fulfills us, and how do we declutter the other stuff that is distracting us from the most important things that we're doing. So one of the ways that, so once you've done this time audit, you will really start to notice some patterns of where your biggest time waster is, and perhaps should you consciously now, half the time you're spending, say, watching Netflix or whatever it is, should you be going to bed and getting up early, at the same time? For me, it's always 11 p.m. till 7 a.m. Half an hour plus or minus, but literally that's pretty much my routine. I like to get my 8 hours sleep. I don't operate really well under 7. And, sometimes my sleeping will be 9 hours, but that's pretty much where, I range, and that makes me feel really good, healthy, and always alert at the right times that I need to be alert for. So, just do a spreadsheet in Excel, write down the days and segment the hours along the left-hand side, and then just start writing things down twice a day so that you can review and see where things are at. And this was really important for me in the super early days of business, when I had a lot of study to do on top of trying to build my business, having my day job, raising and being the primary carer of an 18-month-old. And so I had a lot of activities that were going on. And for some of you, that I was running 3 different brands. I was trying to do everything, like so many different things. So therefore, I really needed to work out where my time was going, and I needed to block out times. At one point, I even blocked in specifically times when I would spend with my son, just focused on him and all that sort of stuff, because I found that I got sucked into all of just the business building kind of stuff, and I didn't have, really much time to pay attention to him. And a lot of you will know that I sacrificed a lot of that family time in the first 2 to 3 years. Good morning, Libby. Nice to see you on the call. So hopefully some of this is resonating with you guys. And you are going to pay attention to it, because it's the perfect time of the year to set this up right for yourselves. So time audit, next 2 weeks is perfect. I know the next 2 weeks for some people will not be your standard usual weeks, because you may still be in school holidays with the kids. But if you are back at work and you are doing things, as per your normal routine, it's the perfect time to get this time audit done. So the really important thing then is to work out, and this is a good time to start planning. If you can't do the time audit immediately, maybe start planning how are you going to cluster your activities once you get into your normal routine. So it's really important not to move from one activity to another that doesn't have too much to do with each other. So what I worked out after 2 or 3 years in business is that if I just clustered certain tasks and not jump from one to another that was totally dissimilar, then I could get a lot more done in a shorter period of time. So I started clustering, admin tasks at a certain time of the day. I started clustering when I would do my sales and marketing kind of stuff. When I would develop or create new products or new content for the business. So it's either going to be a 2-hour block or half a day or whatever it is. So clustering those activities worked really, really well for me, because it just allowed me to sit down and focus. And focus is really important. Like yesterday, I started writing my next book. And my next book is going to be co-written with my virtual assistant. And because I know I've got still the next 2 weeks where I'm not in events, I'm not on tour and all that, I go, okay, well, I can cluster an hour and a half every day, and I'm going to focus on writing 1 chapter and about 2,000 words. I gave myself a goal, and I'll just stick to that, and I'll find my time block. The rest of the time it'll be family time, and there'll be a period or a cluster hour where I'll just catch up on all the business activities, because my assistants at the moment are running everything in the background, and I'm only required to answer questions they can't answer. So that's what's happening in the next 2 weeks. I will write the next book, so that, because I know that as soon as 4th of February comes, I have to get on the road, and I am going to have focus time to be creative and be creating this new content and new, work that really needs focus. Just yesterday, an example is I was 80% through the introduction, and I got a phone call, and silly enough, I didn't put my phone on silent or do not disturb, and I went totally out of whack by taking that phone call, and could not come back to it until 5-6 hours later, when I had to reread everything I had written to just finish the introduction. So that took me. So be very careful of distractions, especially if you're in a creative mode. Do, put things on do not disturb, turn off all notifications, and stay focused for that period of time, because you will save so much time for yourselves. So really, really be mindful. And I think I spoke about it last week or late last year about having a sign on your computer, or those little crowns that I mentioned, how to become indistractable from the book that I recently read, and really having that focus time to finish tasks off. So we waste a lot of time early in our business. So those of you that are maybe in year 1 to 3 of your business, you might recognize some of these patterns, and I've seen them in a lot of new business owners. And that is spending a ton of time hiding behind the computer. So doing things like website design, branding, creating flyers, creating new PowerPoint presentations, like just doing learning systems on the internet, like how to use a database, how to send in a newsletter, all that kind of stuff. And but all of those things actually don't progress or move your business forward. The thing that's going to move your business forward when you're year 1 to 3 is when you get out there and you talk to people and you look how to help others. Okay, you learn about them, you're interested in them. You don't need fancy websites or business cards and all that branding, all perfect when you are brand new, because really people buy people. So if they meet you and they talk to you and they can see how passionate and enthusiastic you are about the problem that you solve, they're going to hire you from a conversation, not from a flashy business card or website. And I really realistically didn't have a proper website for the first 4 or 5 years. And I always found any clients that I picked up were not because I had things already ready and prepared and it was so beautifully presented and all that sort of stuff. So be very mindful if you are wasting a lot of time just doing things to set the business up, rather than actually doing the activities that are going to propel you forward, and that is building your network, which then equals building your net worth, and therefore looking for those opportunities out and about. Okay, time for family. So again, like clustering things within the business activities, how do you cluster time blocks for your family? So for us, the 5 to 8 p.m. period. So entrepreneurs work 9 to 5 and then 5 till 9. That's kind of, is very true in the early years of your business. You do work evenings, mornings, whenever the baby sleeps or whatever your situation is. But once you establish a bit of a routine, for us it's 5 till 8 p.m. It's dinner time, pick up from school, after school care, kinder, whatever it is, and be together, sit down on the table together and eat dinner and discuss stuff. That's really, really, really important for well-balanced children and family connection. And of course, now shutting down over from 5:30 p.m. on Friday till Sunday, Monday morning, and focusing on activities that we want to do together. That's not realistic early in business. You might be needing to work, most weekends, part of the weekends. However, you can ultimately establish that routine so that you get better at knowing when also your time to switch off is, because this is really crucial. If you keep working, you actually start becoming less and less productive than you actually can be when you're fresh and focused and you've got your list in hand, like I do this morning. Like I've got about 10 different things to do, and I'll be done by midday, and then off I go. I'll have the rest of the week just in maintenance mode since we're still on school holidays. All right, so be mindful and also cluster your family time. Other things, are you saying yes to things that you shouldn't be saying yes to? So that's a big time waster. Some people feel really, really bad to let other people down, and they continue being the yes guy or gal, and they don't actually, they don't even know the word no. So be mindful, and the more you progress, of course, earlier in the business, I said yes to absolutely everything. Things that were good for me, not good for me, were good opportunities, were not good opportunities, were a waste of time, because you just don't know how to judge if something's going to be a good opportunity for you or not. So you're doing trial and error to understand and gain the experience to know when this situation arises in the future, whether I'm going to say yes or no to it. Now with wisdom and hindsight in tow, I know exactly what I want to say yes or no to. But it's really good to start becoming practicing saying no to it. And this applies not just in your business worlds and lives, but in your personal lives. Do you say no to your children sometimes? Do you say no to your partner? Do you say no to your friends? Things that you don't want to be doing, and how do you say no, and how do you say no without feeling bad or guilty about it? So really, really important, and women tend to be more guilty of this than men. So really important to start noticing and using your past references to figure out whether you should say yes or no to an opportunity, or yes or no to a family or a social thing in your life. Because the ultimate goal is for you to be doing the things you love to do with the people you love to do it with, and outsource everything else. Which brings me to the next point, is the question, are you doing it all alone? Okay, are you doing it all alone in the family because no one will pick up their own stuff, and so therefore you keep going around and doing stuff for them, and so therefore you have not really trained or delegated your family members in everyone taking responsibility within the household? Are you doing it all alone within your business? And this is the whole point, and the whole book that we're writing with my virtual assistant Lindy right now is me trying to do it all in the first 6 years. I did not have an assistant in the first 6 years of business. This year is my 10th year of business, and I don't know how I did it. But it was absolutely doing it all alone. This is where all the evenings went. This is where all the weekends went, because I wanted to stay on top of it. I wanted to stay timely. I wanted to stay professional. I wanted to be responsive to people. Okay. And luckily, 2.5 years into my business, my husband quit his day job. So he acted in a way as an assistant until I hired my virtual assistant. But I left it way too long, right? So can you outsource some stuff that's going to actually win you back time, that you're going to be able to devote in the more important things to propel your business and your life forward? Should you not be doing the cleaning around your house? Should you not be doing administration and bookkeeping? Shouldn't you not be doing building websites, trying to learn how to build websites and landing pages, or trying to do your Facebook marketing alone? They're all things that at a certain point in time you need to let go of and outsource, so that you can then do the best things that you know how to do and what you're expert in as well. It's really hard and difficult to invest in some of these things, because you go, how am I going to be able to afford this regularly? But I say always start small and add one extra thing. Add one extra helper or a person within your life for your business, and then get used to that. Get comfortable with that. Good morning, Emma. Then add another thing. We always say, we'll add, like recently we invested in another investment property, and that obviously brings in a new loan, new rental income, and being able to adjust and get familiar and get used to, being and having that extra responsibility, if you like. Same thing as you're adding stuff into the business. Initially, I added my husband in. Then I added my virtual assistant in a couple of years later. Last year, I added my personal assistant in. And slowly, some people do it super fast and it's scary, but they're the big risk takers. Whereas for us, it's been, a slowly, a build up, get used to it, become very comfortable within it, and then get the next thing and reinvest and all that kind of stuff. So don't do it all alone. Actually, by having other people in your life and business taking responsibility, what you do is you save time on problem solving and generating new ideas. I know when I have a team meeting with my my team, which we're doing it next Wednesday, when everyone's kind of fully at the house, my PA is going to be coming in, and you know, we're going to have my mum and my virtual assistant all on Zoom, you know, for our annual start of year team meeting. You know, we'll come up with challenges, and literally with 5 people brainstorming ideas, we come up with solutions so much quicker. So hey Sue, glad you're enjoying the call. So yeah, so just know that having other people within your own life, being able to delegate to or outsource to, is ultimately going to win back the balance in the lifestyle that you want to have. Yes, you do end up being responsible for other people's livelihoods and all that kind of stuff, but if you do it slowly, you become comfortable within each level, and therefore it doesn't seem as big a deal as you might imagine it before you actually take the leap of faith. All right, and the other thing that I wanted to cover off is, do you take some time, or do you allocate time, and you should allocate time for things that you like to do just for yourself? Do you take yourself away on a mini holiday? Okay, so usually every year I'll always have a mini holiday, or medium one, it depends, with my husband alone, no children. I'll have one just by myself, just completely by myself, just without anyone, and also a holiday or a weekend or a trip, whatever, with my mum. Okay, and in addition to all the ones that we're doing with the kids, or you know, with other people and all that kind of stuff. So do you allocate and assign that time for yourself? Now is the time. Like, well, we usually do it 6 months ago, because we're working almost on an 18-month calendar. But if you don't get it scheduled, you won't get it done. Okay, and that's a famous saying. And this is why I'm also very, very protective in terms of what goes in my planner. What goes in my planner must happen. And so I'm very protective in terms of what I put down, because I know if I put it down, it has to be done. So when I do my annual calendar of events, of holidays, all that kind of stuff, I know, okay, it looks really overwhelming, and I take a deep breath and I go, just think, it's a whole year, you know, you're going to do this one thing at a time and all that kind of stuff. But if it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't get done. And when I reflect back at the end of the year of all the things we have done, I go, my goodness, we fitted in 10 years of stuff in just this 1 year. So allocate times also for spontaneity. So I know spontaneity is meant to be just spontaneity, not allocated time, but it's like, you know, when you don't have anything in your planner and you don't need to go anywhere, you don't need to see anyone, because it is when you're spontaneous, when you're in a spontaneous period, is when you're most creative. The best ideas come not when we force them out of our heads. It's when we can just chill out and actually not think about ideas come into our head. And this is why I'm using these next 2 weeks to complete the writing of the next book, is because I know I don't have any firmly scheduled things that I need to be at, you know, office time and all that kind of stuff. I am actually, you know, pretty much hanging out with my kids, then spending a couple of hours writing a chapter, and just being in a really relaxed and spontaneous mood and mode. And that's the best time to be creating new things, and to allow just fresh new stuff to come in through what you know and what you love. So just to recap, we've been talking about time auditing and where people waste a lot of time, and where people perhaps fail to allocate time, or make up some excuses. And the other thing I just want to actually cover off is the fact that sometimes some of us keep busy because we are trying to fulfill, you know, a need for something. You know, if you're always busy, you know, perhaps ask yourself the question of, who are you honoring by being busy? You know, was it a parent of yours that you observed growing up that was always on the go, never relaxing, and they just taught you that was the way to be? Okay. You know, is it, you know, do you get something out of being busy? Do you feel important? You know, when you say to people, oh, yes, I'm just so busy, you know, does that make you feel better about yourself? Or does it, you know, does it give you that aspect of, you know, maybe, you know, like, you know, busy means, or does busy mean I'm successful? Yeah. Have you framed it in your mind? Good morning, Teresa. Have you framed it in your mind that busy means successful? Okay, because that's not true. Yeah. So reframe it. Actually, now having the wisdom and the experience and the hindsight in tow with me, I know that actually busy did not mean I was successful in the first few years. It meant that I was just working things out on the journey to finding something that was going to have good flow and systems and structure, so that I would have the lifestyle that I wanted to create. Now I don't say I'm busy. There's moments, of course, in the year when I'm on tours and trips and getting on this plane and setting up a training room, and I've got to run an event the next day, and like there's this big burst of busy, if you like. But then there's like a lot of downtime throughout the year of times where we're recharging, and that's really important. It's okay to go and go, but then at the other end of that go period, that you have got scheduled a R&R period of a week, a weekend, a month. Halfway through the year, we take a month off. I'm going to Europe with the girls this year. I know once half the year's done, I'm really finding that I need that, just decompress time. That is how you also stay healthy. The last thing that I didn't cover off, aside from taking some time and a holiday by yourself, is do you take time to look after your health, around your well-being? Do you take time to exercise and all of that kind of stuff? Where does that go and how does that get clustered within your timing? So work out what your 2-week audit looks like of the things that you do unconsciously and without awareness, and bring that to awareness so that you can reconstruct what it looks like. You might need to work around a calendar and really block things out, but then it can become the new normal and your new routine, where you say, okay, I'm going to spend 2 hours less on devices a day, or watching one less show on Netflix and binging and all that kind of stuff, or, get in and out. And these are the times I'm going to have with my family and all that sort of stuff. So I hope that all of this brought some insight and value around what it is that you're doing. Maybe you haven't asked yourself these questions for a while. Maybe this is not new stuff. This is just stuff that I sometimes bring up, and often people say, you know what, I needed to listen to that live today. It's like you knew what was running through my head and how I wanted to embark on this new year and the things that I want to change. And you can enjoy a life that feels well balanced, that doesn't feel rushed, and that you feel like you're progressing and moving forward with all your goals and dreams. So have a wonderful week ahead. It's going to be a beautiful start of the week here, well, quite hot. Do something if you are at home and you're still on holidays the next couple of weeks because you're waiting for your kids to go back to school. Step aside from them for a couple of hours and do something that's creative within your business. That's what I'm doing. Yes, I want to be with my family, but I still feel fulfilled by doing the things like writing a book. For me is really enjoyable. So I'm going to step away for a couple of hours every day for the next 10 or 12 days. And I know I'll have my next project ready to go to editing once the business year starts up and all that kind of stuff. All right. So I'm going to go do a live in my Authors Secret group now, as I normally do. See, I cluster my lives. So then I get them all done Monday morning. My new fresh content is out there. And, then I don't have to think about it till next Monday morning in the shower. Sometimes going, what are we going to talk about today? I hope you have a wonderful week and go and smash it out.